People need to get angry about this sort of situation, and they need to start realizing this is happening, and they need to get more racist. Racism would save a lot of lives. If this girl was a little more racist, she might not have sat in front of a black guy with her back to a black guy. Girls may not date black guys if they realize when they go into the court system, it's nothing but white women bringing before the judge the brown and black perps who have battered them, abused them. They're trying to get restraining orders out against them. And those are the lucky ones, believe it or not. Those aren't the ones that were murdered by these people. So we need to get tough with ourselves and realize that this is an actual problem and not care if they call you racist, because I would rather be called racist than dead.
That's true. Would you rather be called racist than dead?
Nobody want to talk about this one.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Of course,
there's definitely a difference between being racist.
Come on now, I don't feel like that question is. I feel like it's no brainer. But I hate that we keep singling out brown and black men as if there's not a whole slew of white men taking out their whole family. There's not a slew of white men who also do domestic violence. So I'm just trying to understand why, from her point of view and her perspective, is it just limited to just brown and black men? That's not to say that they aren't guilty of some of those things, but I feel like that's not just a brown and black body person thing.
And she's using racism wrong. Racism is about feeling superior to people, not profiling.
Facts.
She didn't say that it wasn't. What she said was, you shouldn't care if they call you racist as a result of profiling.
No, she said you need to be more racist.
To be more racist is to not want to associate with somebody based off of their race, something that they can't control. In addition to that, she also said the racism, or if they call you racist as a result of preventing yourself from being in a situation with black people or black men that are assaulting, which I'm not saying that she's right, but what she's saying is, if you would have been more racist, could you have prevented yourself from being in that situation in the first place? She's not saying that racism itself just protects you. She's saying that it could have protected the woman that looked at black men a certain type of way, because in a lot of instances, she's saying that black men are the ones that are committing the crimes.
Okay.
I think women need to look at all men that way. That's why you got so many single baby mamas.
Huh?
I mean,
how does that correlate? Hold on, how does that correlate?
How? She said that with white women being more racist or profiling black guys, that they would see the black men that's in or the white women that's bringing the brown and black men in the courts. I mean, if you take that part right there, I mean, if you profile and be more subjective to every man, then you would eliminate that problem anyway.
I'm not following, big dog.
What?
I don't know,
What I gotta do with baby mama hood?
No, because she did. So she did not say that. She did not say that the black women, I mean the white women, needs to see the black men and brown babies in the court that's getting killed by the black men and the black babies.
I don't think that's what she said exactly, but okay.
she said that. So I'm saying, I think to kill all of that, it's not even about race. It's just about profiling and being more aware that the guy you're dealing with is a whole.
Okay, so is she saying stereotyping equals racist? Because I stereotype people all the time. That doesn't make me a racist. So are we stereotyping equals racist? Because that's not
the woman that did the video is openly racist. Okay, she is known for being open. She has a reputation. I noticed her on Piers Morgan. That was the first time I ever heard of her. And so she's an openly racist person. And what she's saying is that people need to be more racist in order to prevent themselves from being hurt like the person was, like the Ukrainian woman on the train.
Then the answer is no, because just because you stereotype somebody doesn't make you racist. No.
I think
racist
it would
is something completely different.
And if the situation was flipped, would her philosophy still be the same? So let's just say if it was a white man and a black woman, would she still say she should have been racist? Or is it only applicable to white women? I'm in a state of confusion because it seems like she's only making it applicable to white women and black and brown men.
What I gathered from the video is when she said she should have profiled him and been okay with being called racist, and if she would have did that, she still would be here. That's how. And then
That's exactly what she said.
yeah, word.
Meaning, if she did profile him, she wouldn't be sitting near him.
Right.
Well, and what she's saying is that if she did profile him, maybe she would still be alive.
I agree with her.
So if
Some
she
people-
would have stereotyped him or profiled him, that would make her a racist because the person who did the stabbing was a black man.
No, she's profiling him. Even if people may have called her racist, it would have been okay because she still would have been here. She just should have profiled. Basically, our argument we was making earlier. If she would have been situationally aware and profiled him, she'll still be here.
Like if she would have walked on the train, noticed that there was a black guy sitting there, even if there was an open seat in front of him, but she would have walked toward the other way of the train. If people would have said, "Oh, she didn't want to sit next to a black guy," oh well.
That action would have made her racist.
Correct.
That action would have made her racist. Okay.
Or at the very least, people would have said she was racist for not sitting next to him because he was
Nobody would have even known. That wouldn't have been racist.
Some people would have probably been like, "Oh, why isn't she sitting next to somebody would have had something to say," but she would have been alive, possibly. So
I think the biggest part of this is that there are people that say that they are no longer willing to be open to black people just for the sake of saying that I'm not racist or that I shouldn't be profiling or I shouldn't stereotype. They saying that it's okay to do that now because it's a safety mechanism. It also prevents you from being hurt and harmed because it's a possibility that you can save yourself a lot of heartache, and it's okay to be alive than it is to be called a racist. I think that is what the narrative is. There is a lot of people that no longer want to be a white apologist or, they're not trying to make black people feel more comfortable, all of this or whatever, so on and so forth. They are now saying, I don't care what you call me. You can say whatever it is that you want to say to me, but I feel safer by profiling and stereotyping. That's what they're saying.
I think at the end of the day, we're all going to be held accountable to God for the way that we treat people. And I think that we're all made in the image of God. And I see a lot of white people who are starting to lean toward what you're saying, which is I want to distance myself away from Black people because I want to keep myself safe. And I can understand where some of that fear is coming from, especially when you're looking at the stats and you're seeing that there's so much crime when it comes to Black on Black crime. And then also nowadays they're pointing out Black on white crime. But my thing is you've got to look at your heart and you've got to make sure that your heart is right. And that's an individual thing that each person should do, because if we as a society decide we're going to start treating people based off of the color of their skin and not the content of their character, we're just going backwards and we're not moving forward. So I can't say that that should be socially acceptable, but I do understand why people are feeling the way they're feeling. And so I think there has to be accountability. And that's where the Black community has to hold each other accountable and say, hey, this can't be acceptable. We're not going to tolerate this anymore. And it starts in the home.
I'm going to say this. I don't want to be near some of these Black people.
Mm-hmm.
There's some Black people I don't want to be around. I don't want to live by. I don't want to encounter.
I mean,
That's sorry.
It's a beautiful concept, Samira, that we can all held accountable based on their character.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically speaking, I do believe that certain races, I'm not going to point at anybody, but certain races are more acceptable to the stereotype.
Right. And I pointed out the statistics. That's why I
right.
said that.
So I think that's beautiful, but the reality is there's certain races that put you in an automatic mindset of high alert, if that makes any sense.
Right.
Just
and I think
just don't like that. Just don't like that.
Okay, Jess, go ahead.
I'm practicing a lot of restraint. To some extent, I don't want to argue with stupidity either. And that's not to say any of y'all are stupid, but I do think some of the rhetoric that you all are spewing, I think is very unfortunate. But I do have a question for you, Carmen. where are you getting your data? And my thing is, I'll say this before you answer the question. The issue isn't us bringing light to the fact that we have issues in our Black and brown communities. My issue with y'all's rhetoric is that y'all limiting it to only Black and brown, when it's a whole slew of Asian white people, Filipino people, all kind of other people, Hispanic, Latinx, all kind of people who have the same issues, but nobody wants to talk about that. We only want to talk about Black and brown as if we're the only people who do stuff. And if we really want to keep it a being, when we talk about Black on Black crime, is that even a thing? And my thing is, there's way more white crime than Black crime. And if there's Black on Black crime, we have to think about some of the historical pieces as to why that is. Is some of it on us? Yes. But is it on some of the historical pieces and some of the things that have happened to us in the past? Also, yes. Two can coexist at the same time. I'm not saying it's solely on white people as to why we are where we are.
Okay, I get what you're saying. I'm gonna let you finish. Okay. Your first question was, where do I get my numbers from? From personal experience. I can only speak to what has happened to me. So what has happened to me was people, or everybody has gotten to, it has been from Black people and brown people. Sorry, but mostly Black people. That has been my experience. Second, the historical part, I don't know what you're trying to say about that. I mean, what do you, because Black people were oppressed. I'm confused about the historical part, but you asked me about that. So I was like, well, my numbers come from my personal experience, and my personal experience has been from Black people. Sorry, but it is. So I am more cautious as being around a lot of Black people, because a lot of the things that has happened to me has been from Black people. Is that better?
You ain't gotta say it
married
lightly.
to a Black man. She's married to a
You
Black
ain't gotta
man.
say it lightly. Say it.
I am married to a Black man.
Yeah,
I am married. I am
man.
married, and even to speak to that point, I am married to a Black man. But most of the people that have been racist towards us as an interracial couple has been from Black men too. So he's experienced it too. So he's experienced it. I am married to a Black man, and most of the outrageous things that has been said to him has been from other Black people. So yeah,
I'm not surprised.
My experience my numbers comes from what I experienced. That's all I can speak of.
I get the whole historic, like Black people we had.
The historic thing, I don't know what you mean by that.
Past where, you know, we were all putting together. Like, I get that. I do. But it is 2025 about to be 2026. We have not progressed enough on our own. It's like if we keep holding on to that, some would say, oh, well, it happened. We know it happened. But if we keep holding on to that and letting that be the reason why we keep doing what we do, you're never going to get ahead. You can keep sitting there getting mad about people calling it out.
It's almost like you're giving an excuse, because
it is. At this
point, if you already know, everybody already knows what the Black race has. Everybody, not just the Black race. Black race has not been the only one that's been oppressed. So can we move on from the oppressed part? It's almost like it's an excuse to give Black people to be racist because they were oppressed. That's what that's what I'm receiving. That's what I'm receiving from you, Jess. No disrespect. It is an excuse because we were oppressed before. Okay, so that gives you an excuse to be racist towards another race because you were oppressed before. That's what I'm getting. I don't know if that's what you mean, but that's what I'm receiving from you, and that's where I'm going to end it at. I'm going to mute myself so I can give everybody else.
Can I say something about that?
You already know what I'm going to say.
Hold on a second. Ty was over there nodding his head. Ty, what do you have to say to this?
You know what I'm going to say. I think there's two. We had this conversation. There's two type of Black people. There's the YNs, and then there's, regular successful Black people. So for me, like you said, Q, earlier, if I go to certain neighborhoods in Jersey, New York, whatever, I'm going to look around. I don't want to be around certain Blacks. I'm going to be honest with you. Then I go to certain towns around here. Like, I just went to play my lottery, and there was a white guy there, and he looked, kind of dingy, dirty, and all of that. I stayed away from him. So it's like a class, it's really a class issue. It's not race, but everybody want to focus on race. Everybody want to be, people wasn't oppressed, people wasn't slaves or whatever. They want to cry about it. Just get your money up, move to a nicer neighborhood. The brother said he got arrested 5 times.
But don't make it about race.
No, hold on. My son is 15. No, my son is 15-year-old black kid. He has his little dreads. Never got arrested. He's on the track team. Just you get your money up. You move to a nicer neighborhood. It's a class issue, it ain't a race issue.
I want to speak on that, Ty, because you saying that your son, he has locks and stuff. I feel like
he never been arrested.
I feel like
he walked to the store all the time.
Though, is that the successful black people or the ones that are not the YNs, they try to emulate street culture too much, and we don't really call it out for what it is. And so him walking around with locks, they're looking at him the same way as they're looking at the YNs. This is why you see 40-year-old.
So how come he's never been arrested or never had an issue?
Well, most people don't get arrested. I'm just saying that it's part of the culture where we emulate the same people we say we want to stay away from.